great. Who's ready to fire Tom McClintock?
Yeah! Woo!
Yes. Do you know what he said? I was talking to some of our students who went out for the March for Our Lives, and they met with one of McClintock's staffers. And the guy brushed them off and wouldn't really listen to them and said, you know what? If you kids don't like his position on guns, then you can just vote him out of office. You know what those kids did? They came back, formed Students for Morse, and are actively working to get him out of office. They took his advice. I think it's the only advice that anyone's ever listened to of his. So we're in a strong position this year. It's really exciting. You know, when people talk about the blue wave, what they're really talking about is a change in our political culture. You know, we are weary of politicians who define winning as the other side losing. We're weary of politicians who play games and make this a game and a contest of who can distort who best, as opposed to what politics should be about is running for elected office to actually serve our community. You know, to actually roll up our sleeves and get to work on the real issues that everyone is facing in our district. Because when I first started running here, and people said, well, Jessica, you know this is a historically Republican district. And I said, don't worry. I come from a historically Republican family. And I got them all on board. They're even like phone banking and canvassing for us now. It's amazing. But what I got people on board because I recognized what we all know, that the issues we face here are not partisan. You know, a forest fire isn't asking if you're a Republican or a Democrat before it burns down your home. And we need a leader in our community who's actually going to be a partner on finding real solutions to the real challenges we face, rather than creating false divisions. You know, I'm seeing what McClintock is handing out, and he's putting out mailers that are talking about every hot button divisive issue that you hear on cable news these days. What he's not talking about or taking any action on are the real issues that our community's facing every day, whether it's access to broadband, protecting and securing rural health care, fostering better rural education for our kids, you know, making our rural economies resilient and strong by creating jobs here that are demanded here. And it is important that we have a leader in Congress who's going to be a partner with our local elected leaders and with our community and advocate for us to find lasting solutions. You know, McClintock is somebody who works towards ideas that will get him just through the next political cycle. You know, he's been in Congress for 40 years.
Wow.
And well, Congress and State House, and his only job has been as a politician. He's never had another job his whole life. And his entire career has been spent using our taxpayer dollars to do nothing and to get him from one political cycle to the next without having any record or legacy of progress to show for it. And so what we're doing is changing that. You know, I suffered through that in Iraq. When I was in Iraq, I was seeing politicians making decisions that got them cheer lines and got them through political cycles, but we had to live the real world consequences of those decisions. That's when it first occurred to me. Maybe it's time to stop electing politicians and start electing public servants.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're doing here. You know, we are running a campaign that is looking at long-term solutions to the real challenges we face. Because we're not looking at political cycles, we're looking at centuries. And people are getting excited and inspired and engaging in this political process in a way they never have before because we're taking the long view. Because people recognize, especially all of these students who form Students for Morse, they recognize that who we elect to office impacts their lives directly. And if they want to have somebody who's representing them and us in office, then we need to actually do the work. And that's what you guys are doing here today. You know, we recognize, we're making this connection that if we want to change politics, it takes us to do it. You know, we have an incredible democracy and an incredible constitution, but our democracy is only representative of those who engage. And what we're doing right now is engaging. And so for me, it's really exciting to be at this incredible moment in history where we're stepping up and making a difference and making the change. You know, I'm out knocking on doors every day, talking to voters, and I am hearing people who are excited and ready to get on board because we're weary of the old school politics. And for me, what's exciting is that a campaign where I spend a lot of time talking about bark beetle kill you know, or fire prevention is getting us national attention. You know, it's the kind of campaign that we are seeing across the nation that is winning in unexpected districts. You know, where we have a message that is resonating across the political spectrum. We have a grassroots base, you guys here, that is mobilized across the district, and it's adding up. Our volunteers, like you, when you guys make phone calls and you say, oh my gosh, you know, out of a sheet of 10, I got one answer. You know, when you are making those phone calls, they add up. Our volunteers across the district have added up to reaching over 45,000 voters in our district. It's unprecedented. And those face-to-face connections and those face-to-face conversations, that's what voters remember. And that's about talking to our neighbors. That's about breaking down these false divisions that politicians like McClintock are trying to create and helping everyone see that we're all members of a community, working to find lasting solutions that keeps our communities healthy, strong, and safe. And finally, you know, we have raised the kind of campaign that has the resources to be able to take on McClintock. We have raised over $1 million. 75% of those contributions are small dollar donations.
Yeah.
That is people recognizing if we want to get big money out of politics, then we got to get little money in, right?
Yep.
And it's working. And so we have 3 field offices open. We have commercials on TV, and guess what? They're starting to resonate too. The other day I was knocking on the door, and I walked up to a door, and this woman, the door was open. She had her screen door there. I walk up, and this woman sees me. I say, oh, I'm Jessica Morse running for Congress. She squeals, runs to the door, and says, I need to hug you. People are excited and inspired, and it's because of all the work that we're doing. You know, you guys are really the foundation of this campaign. You guys recognize that we could change this political culture and uplift the political culture. When people talk about the blue wave, it's not something magical that's coming. It's us. And you know, I'm hesitant to even call it a blue wave, because what it really is, it's more like a rising tide. You know, a rising tide uplifts all the boats, right? This is us changing the political culture and inspiring our community to recognize that if we elect public servants into office, we can actually get things done that will last. And so what we are doing when we win is demonstrating that a campaign built on integrity and strength and really focused on solutions is the winning strategy. And others will model after what we're doing here, and it will uplift our entire country and help unite our communities rather than spreading fear or false divisions.
Yeah. Nice.
So I am inspired by all of the work you are doing, and the energy is having a huge impact. And I'm excited to get out here on the doors with you guys and talk to our neighbors, because this is what democracy looks like in action. This is what a tipping point in history looks like. And guess what?
Yes.
We are doing it, and that's what's going to get us to win in June,
Nice.
and that's what's going to get us to win in November.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah. So can I just say that you really reflect my values, and I just see that women are going to be so much of a bigger role in government now, and I'm so proud of everything that you're doing, and I'm here just to back you 100% because I see you as reflecting my values, and I see that you're the future. You're the future of what we need here in this old school McClintock. You know, when he was here, he said, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and if you don't like it, vote me out. Yeah. And I got that on video. It pissed me off. And then when I met you, I was like, there it is.
Yeah.
You're doing it. Thank you.
And that same
Those conspiracy theories are pretty easy to throw around when you're in fear of losing a position you've had for 40 years. So.
Well, the only reason he can't find the difference between a paid protester and his own constituents is that he doesn't live in the district, so he hasn't met his constituents.
And how is that even possible?
Exactly.
Good question.
Your ads are great.
Yeah, the TV ads are great.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Really well done.
Yeah. You know what's so fun about that is that I got to go through my great-grandma Edith's trunk. And, you know, it's this trunk from like 1905. Some of it we hadn't even opened before. I found this amazing photo of Edith in this wool-length, ankle-length wool skirt. And she was wearing heeled boots, tromping through the snow up around Donner Pass area. She had a shotgun on her shoulder, and it said, Edith, hunting. I was like, yep, I come from Hardy Mountain stock.
Nice.